I have a very disturbing story to tell you about. It starts with a judge named Aaron Persky, who sentenced a 23-year-old All-American former Stanford student named Brock Turner for sexually assaulting an unconscious female student behind a dumpster on the Stanford campus over a year and a half ago to 6 months in county jail, with the possibility, Lewis, if he behaves well in county jail, of dropping that sentence to only 3 months. I guess that good behavior would involve not raping more people in county jail or something. Turner could have been sentenced up to 14 years in state prison. Prosecutors asked for 6 years in state prison, and instead the judge decided on 6 months in a county jail with the possibility of only 3 months. What were the reasons? Well, Turner's age and lack of criminal history were cited. Persky explained the sentence thusly: a prison sentence would have a severe impact on him. I think he will not be a danger to others. Let me see if I get it. The impact to the rapist of an unconscious woman of being sent to prison might be negative. All of a sudden, Lewis, the justice system is concerned with the negative impact that prison has on people's lives. Not that the justice system shouldn't be concerned with that. I've argued that it hasn't been concerned with that for a long time. But we're going to take this case to make an example of that?
I guess when you are a white guy going to Stanford, that's when the white judges might be a bit worried about what prison does to you.
Well, to be very clear about the details, this isn't like a he said, she said type of thing. Nobody knows what happened. It's a mystery. Obviously, the girl doesn't know what happened because she was unconscious, but Brooke was spotted on top of his victim by 2 passing students. He ran. They tackled him and held him until campus security showed up. The victim woke up in a hospital the next day with no memory of what happened. Of course, no sexual assault trial is complete without finding fault with the victim and an excuse for the victimizer. In this case, they were both very drunk at the party, Lewis. As Brock said in court in defense of himself, being drunk, I just couldn't make the best decisions, and neither could she. Lots of people are making bigger, broader arguments about so-called rape culture. It's really bringing out a lot of really low, base, vile elements of the internet. But you don't even need to go that far. Let's not even have that conversation. This is about one specific case where the punishment is not commensurate with the crime. You've got the white former Stanford athlete. The level of intoxication was considered a mitigating factor, and you end up with a 6-month or possibly 3-month jail sentence. This feels reminiscent of that affluenza case, and we know how that turned out, with authorities tracking the kid and his mother down in Mexico after fleeing from his parole officer.
Which, of course, that was just a parole violation.
Right.
Somehow the parole violation triggered something, this massive hunt. It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's the exact same type of thing. We've covered other stories that are kind of similar, where well-to-do white person, for some reason, gets almost no sentence.
And for people who are going to email us and say we're playing up the social justice warrior nonsense that's popular on the internet among leftists, anybody who listens to the show any reasonable amount knows that we don't do that. We critique identity politics, but sometimes there are valid questions. And I do wonder, Lewis, if this were a brown-skinned Syrian immigrant here legally, refugee status maybe, or just
not attending Stanford, by the way.
Not attending Stanford. Would the sentence be the same, and would people be satisfied with a 6-month county jail sentence when the max could have been 14 years in state prison? I truly wonder. I think the answer is no.
I think you're right. I agree.
Many times that type of question is out of place and not relevant, but I wonder here whether that is a good question. And you know what? If you want to email me and say, oh, there's David Pakman, the social justice warrior, blah, 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 do it if it makes you feel better. But sometimes these questions are legitimate, and when they're not, we call them out. You know we do, Lewis.
Yeah, it's just a hypothetical. We can't recreate the situation with, but it's worth asking. It's worth exploring.
Discuss this and any other stories from today's show on our Reddit discussion forum. Go to davidpakman.com/Reddit. That's REDDIT. I have 20 half-priced subsidized memberships available. If you want one, email me, first come, first serve, david@davidpakman.com.